Right then, where were we?
Well, that's it. I was just thinking then, actually, what did we actually discuss last time? Because it was a lot, whatever it was, wasn't it?
I think we were just on the verge of announcing our first players.
Yes. And we've
so
announced a fair few
haven't
since.
we? So we'll go through all those, and then we were going to do an episode before the Bolton game, which didn't happen.
No.
And this will be a common theme, I think, running through. Yeah, you've been in Malta.
Enjoying the sun.
Yeah, and all sorts of stuff's been going on, and we've all been busy, so apologies for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a set list. So
it's quite a big set list.
Yeah, so
strap yourselves in.
So we don't forget anything. So should we go through those pre-season games first of all, and then quickly go through those?
Yeah.
And then go through all the signings.
Yeah.
And then
look ahead.
Yeah, look ahead. Maybe with a view to cutting off before we preview the season and do a proper
pre-season preview. Yeah,
that works. So first game was Blackpool. Was it Academy?
Yeah, like their big team.
Yeah. And that went really, really well.
Yeah, it did. I think we didn't know what to expect really, both of Blackpool and ourselves, because obviously we got an entire new squad and we didn't really know what team Blackpool was sending.
Yeah.
And it was a good quality Blackpool side, I'd say. You know, they played some impressive football, and obviously they went in 1-0 up. But then we went on to score 2 and sort of pull that back to 2-1. And yeah, it was a good game, and it was just a good chance to see some of the faces that Chaddy was going to bring in. Obviously, you couldn't read anything into it tactically or the way we were playing football, because they'd literally had 2 training sessions, and I think Chaddy said in his post-match interview his instructions were just to go out and play, you know, which I think that is a necessity, isn't it? You know, when you're bringing this entire new squad together.
People don't know each other.
Exactly. They don't know the strengths, they don't know the weaknesses, they don't know what runs they're going to make. And what's been interesting is as pre-season has gone on, we're starting to see that more and more. We're starting to see those runs we make. We're starting to see those players connect and stuff like that, which is great. But that Blackpool one was really good, I think, because it was a home game. It was good to see everybody back. There was a good crowd, nearly 300. And it was just a really good afternoon for the club, I think, just to say, we're back.
I think the fact that we had a competitive team was the most important thing, and we did have a competitive team that came on stronger in the game. Yeah,
and we can't underestimate that, right? We can't underestimate that. Chaddy's always done a remarkable job, because he's got an entire squad of 16, 17, 18 players, and when you start with 3, it's a big ask.
I said we were going to box off last season, didn't I?
Yeah.
But we never said thanks to Scott Safton, who was left, who's gone to Clitheroe, with Dave Dempsey. They had a good season last year. He played in the last game of the season. I think his career at Coles was a bit blighted by injury, but he pulled it out where it finally mattered.
Yeah, archetypal Coles player, tough, works hard, tackles hard, you know, plays for the badge, loved the club, so definitely wish him all the best.
And we said that Caesar was staying.
Yes. Well, technically he is. He's still in our books, but it's a dual registration with the North Wales club. I think Chaddy has said to him, go out and get some game time,
so
which is what he needs.
He's been playing at Ballatown.
Yes,
in the League of Wales.
Yeah. So good luck to him too. Yeah. Obviously he's still in our books, so still technically with us.
Yeah, just in case anyone was wondering what was going on.
Where he went. Yeah, definitely.
So then we went over to Prestwich. I wasn't at that game.
It was impressive. Again, it was impressive. I mean, you've got to contextualise it around the fact Prestwich in the North West Counties Prem, so a couple of divisions below, but we did dominate. We, again, played good football, 4 good goals, in terrible conditions. You know, the Blackpool game was torrential rain, Prestwich game was torrential rain, and again, strength of character really to get through that. So, impressive result, impressive football, and
Trialist had a good game.
Trialist had a hat-trick. Now, whether it was the same Trialist or not, we don't know. So Trialist had a good game. Some of those Trialists have now signed, but again, really, really positive afternoon.
Yeah. And then the Padiham game.
I wasn't at Paddy, my Bolton base, so it's over to you.
Okay, so they were led by Cameron Foster, who's the first team coach there, who worked here under Cleggy, I think he was the general manager. Cameron, I think he works for the Cheshire FA, so he's a really good football person. And they kick off their season today, so it's Saturday morning. We're going to go to Trafford in in an hour. Their season starts today. They've had a really good pre-season. They have had a really good pre-season, apart from that one game where we just absolutely dominated them. I spoke to Cameron, and he was just really impressed with the calibre of players we've brought in.
Oh, excellent.
And just the rotation of the forwards, they just couldn't cope with that. And they're a decent side.
And I think Chaddy said in his post-match interview, didn't he, that they were quick and relentless off the mark, weren't they? Which I think is great to see, because sometimes in games I think we've been guilty of sitting back a little bit too much. So why not go get that early goal and then see what you can do afterwards? But again, contextualising on the fact they are in the North West Counties Prem, but you can only play what's in front of you.
But they're slightly fitter than us.
You would hope.
They've done well against Ashton United.
And an established side, they're not 22 new players sort of playing together, are they? So it was encouraging.
Mo came on. We'll get back to Mo later. And took his chance. Took his chances. Then we played the Bolton B team. They were so good.
Really? It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, they were so good.
Because there are some good players in there.
Yeah, the B team and academy thing is kind of a new thing, isn't it? Where there wasn't this step for players who'd excelled at this level to bridge into the Football League, because the conference is a different game again. Slightly stronger, more competitive. And I was thinking like Ben Hardcastle, if this B team thing, because the Bolton have signed players from Warrington Town, etc. Giving them a year, giving them a chance. It would be players like that. But we conceded the goal, and the guy who scored that was Luke Matheson, who Man United signed from Rochdale. He scored against Man United for Rochdale, and Wolves signed him for £1 million.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So that's the calibre of player you've got. And then you've got like Finn Lockett, Aaron Pettifer. Some of the other players.
So good quality. You pitched them at that Conference North level, wouldn't you? Sort of mid-table Conference North, I suppose. So again, good competitive. And I think, games against Bolton are always pretty high scoring, aren't they? We either lose sort of 6-3 or draw 3-3 or win 3-0. So it's always a funny game, that. But good to always have it in the calendar, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we played 1874 midweek, and wasn't the best of games.
It was a funny game, wasn't it? And I think there was some truth in what Chaddy said in his interview with them being a bit tough, and they were tough. And I think that's the first Northern Premier League team we played this pre-season.
Yes.
And I think you could tell, because then when you play the Northern Premier League, it's a tough league to play physically, right? Not tactically or whatever, but physically, fundamentally, it's hard work. And I think we saw that against 1874, didn't we? In terms of the fact that they were tough tackling and stuff like that. And they were. You've got a couple of 1874 fans maybe questioning that. But
I've got the video.
Yeah, there's plenty. And this isn't us sort of saying, what are you doing, ref? Why weren't the 5 red cards? It's just us saying that it was a tough game physically. It was a good test.
Well, so one of our players, Sidhu, we'll get to, he put in a challenge. A really firm challenge. But we're not standing for this.
Absolutely.
And he came out on top.
And I think that was a wake-up call for us, because maybe we have been playing, these academy North West County sides. We've been the bulldogs of the game almost. So it's good to have that turned around on us almost, isn't it, for this one? So that was a really good test. And first half we were awesome. I thought, we were playing some really smart football. Nathan Kane's goal was excellent, of an excellent quality, and a really smart move. And then Chaddy again admitted to himself in his post-match interview, and I think this is what I like about Chaddy, is he reflects a lot, and he doesn't think what mistakes he made, he thinks what have I learned. And he said he made too many substitutions as the game went on, and it became a bit bitty. All the instructions then got lost, because you had about 6-7 new players on in that second half, especially in those last 20 minutes. And you could tell, couldn't you? You could tell that there wasn't really a plan.
It's about minutes in legs.
Yeah, of course it is, and it's not an easy pitch to play on. It's quite a small pitch, isn't it? It's contained. Again, like Pacaz had no disrespect, because everyone knows the pitch at the Schooner is not the pride and joy of the league. But a great test, and interesting to see 1874 again, actually, because we've not played them in a long time, have we?
So I can't remember. We when you played at
Winsford.
We played them and we played Winsford. I can't remember which way round it is.
I think we played 1874 first, then Winsford.
Did Ben Hardcastle score that volley against them?
Scored,
from 30 yards. Yeah. That was all I can remember was the clubhouse absolutely rocking.
Absolutely. We're on our way.
Yes.
To the Evo. Around the time of the Russia World Cup. I think we saw that. Yeah.
I don't know if Winsford's clubhouse has recovered from that.
To be honest, it was on its last legs anyway. And again, no disrespect, because we were in our changing rooms that have always been on the last legs. So, it's one of those things. But yeah.
So, these signings, these trialists.
Long list.
Credit to Rob and to Danny, who put a lot of work into this.
And they deserve a big shout out, actually, because it's interesting. We talked about this in the last time. When you work as part of a media operation at a non-league football club, you expect, in a normal pre-season, 3 to 4 signings, maybe 5 at a max, with a retention list. And like we said, it's been interesting. It's not been difficult, but it's been interesting this pre-season because we had those 3 players, and then we knew it was going to be a raft of new signings, which is no fault of anybody's. That happens. That happens from time to time. And full credit to Rob and Danny, because they do the research behind the articles, they do the interviews, and then they circulate them. Danny does all the graphics and all the scheduling, whereas Cal and I just kind of go, that looks good, well done. Do you know what I mean? And then we do stuff like this in half an hour with. Full credit to them. Absolutely.
So I'm going through them in chronological order, how we've announced them. So CD Sonogo for Farmer was the first one we announced. Chaddy mentioned him in the manager night. He alluded to him, he didn't name him.
No.
And people put 2 and 2 together and came up with Joe Bunny.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't Joe Bunny. He's gone to Stalybridge.
Hilarious.
It was. I knew who he meant after a bit of Googling. Because he was at Clitheroe with Dave Dempsey, and I followed the end of season because they made the playoffs in Division 1. So
good player. Really good player.
And he sits in that, we mentioned before, doing a 4-1-4-1. He is the one sitting in front of the defence, breaking up play. And he just seems really, really effective.
Definitely.
Very impressed with him.
Definitely. And then Nathan Kane. Sort of like a winger come striker, isn't he? It's kind of hard to pinpoint him. And he was at Stalybridge last season. He's played for Stafford and stuff like that. So he's got pedigree.
He plays for Mansfield.
And I really like Nathan.
He's top quality.
And he scored that great goal against 1874. It was a good finish. And I think that's one thing we've lacked in previous. And I think had we kept the squad, Nathan Kane would have been an excellent addition to that, because he seems a natural goal scorer.
The one thing common theme running through all these are all the headline signings.
Big time.
We've got 8 and 9.
Big time.
It would have been like a big deal.
Definitely.
And because they've come in en masse, it's not quite that way, but Nathan's really impressive.
He is.
And people will...
And he's a good lad. He's a good lad too, and his family come down, and I think he understands Coles fundamentally. Now, he might have played at Mansfield, and Stafford and Stalybridge, but he understands Coles, which is brilliant. So really, really excited to see Nathan develop and grow with the club, because I think he will do. They've got Jack Evans, right back, tough, big lad, isn't he, Jack?
So Jack was at Radcliffe last season, and Radcliffe had a really good season, apart from when they played.
And when they played us.
But Jack was their first choice right back. So he's perfectly acclimatised to this league.
100%.
Really good signing.
Really good signing, and again, I think those lads will definitely benefit from the experience of Chaddy too, because Chaddy was a centre back, defender at this level, and they're not the Conference North, and I think ultimately we've got to understand that we're going to get as much out of them, and they're going to get the same out of us as well at the same time.
That's the other thing, is that a lot of these lads that are coming in, I guess their aspirations are to kick back on, and if we can help them do that, it helps us and it helps them.
Definitely.
I'd love to see one of these lads, because the last person who was here that kicked on back to the Football League was Ginny Ball, who was released by Bolton, came here, didn't excel, but we sorted out his mentality.
Definitely.
And he went on to Stockport.
Gave him a chance.
Went on to Stevenage and played in the Football League.
Definitely.
Any one of these guys could do that.
Easy.
It'd be amazing to see. Booney.
You've got your merch. I
almost wore this last time as sort of an Easter egg.
An Easter egg clue. Yeah. But yeah, Jordan Boone's back, and he's, again, great character. Yeah. Great character, and, you know, big central defender is exactly what you need. Gets the club, and I think that's, you know, when you look at these signings, you've got to say, do they understand Atherton Collieries? Do they understand what it's all about? And I can safely say they do. You know, I met them all on Thursday. We were taking orders for their travel wear and their training gear for the coming season, and they were all dead sound. You know, really nice, really grateful, really appreciative of what we do, because they understand we're a community-run club. You know, we're a volunteer-led club. We don't have a big backer. We don't have a big money man. You know, and this pre-season more than ever, we're learning as we go, aren't we? You know, and they all understand that, which is fantastic. And Jordan Boone is key to that. So yeah.
In the first game against Blackpool, I think we said people didn't really know each other, hadn't played together. They just did a couple of knocked up training sessions, and Booney's just hit a cross-field ball with his left foot, and I was like, wow,
he's back.
And he did it again, and I was like, Jordan, stop
it. Yeah.
And from that point onwards, the lads were just, you know, give it Booney on his left.
Definitely.
And it's as good as you're going to see at this level.
Definitely.
In terms of technical ability.
Definitely. Yeah.
Really, really impressive. Now, we haven't seen much of Kieran Summers.
No.
I think he's been injured.
He has. Charlie mentioned somebody was injured. Yeah, he is injured.
Yeah.
So, to be confirmed.
He's got a really good calibre.
Yeah.
He's a defender who's down from Scotland. I think he's moved down here. But he's played at Sandhurst Muir.
In Queen's Park.
Yeah,
Queen's Park.
Yeah, which is a really good standard.
Definitely.
So, if he's been injured, it may take a couple of weeks for him to get up to speed. Hopefully we'll see him pre-season.
Yeah.
See looks on paper.
On paper, it's a good sign.
Very good.
And another one on paper that's good with Scottish Links, Lewis Mansell, big forward.
He was the other one that I think he mentioned.
Alluded to, the lad from Accrington. And he's a big lad, Lewis, and he holds up the ball really well. And I felt like when he went off against 1874, we lost a bit of that. Yeah. You know, and I think he might not score many. You know, I don't think he's going to be banging them in every week, but I think
he's sharp. I think he had a snapshot early in the game. Yeah. Which sort of impressed me that, you know, he knows where the goal is. He's had a go. Yeah. I just think he needs a few games to sharpen up.
And I think he might be. You know, I don't think he might. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't think he's going to score loads. But I think he's going to be key to our attacking play, because he holds the ball up really well, and I think because he is a big lad, you know, he's tall, and I think defenders will struggle against him, and he'll cause them a bit of a headache. So maybe we have someone running off him. But you've got. Nathan Keynes and stuff. Yeah, Nathan Keynes and other players we'll get to. He could be like a pivot at the front. Yeah. I think he's going to be really important. 100%. A quality signing. Another quality signing was Josh Askew, the left back. Yeah. Who seems to have made it his own, really. I mean, when you come and play left back at Atherton Collieries, that's your big boots to fill. Yes. Gaz Pete's been in that position for so long. Yeah. And you know, you sort of think, who is the new Gaz Pete? And Josh Askew has stepped up. Has stepped up massively. I think Daddy called him Ben. Yeah, Ben Askew. So we're still getting to know them. And he stepped up massively, and is it a step up? That's the thing. I think so. Well, Josh was at Ramsbottom. He went to Ramsbottom with Chaddy end of last season. And I don't think that Ramsbottom realised what an absolute quality play that is. No, I don't mean a step up for Josh, I mean a step up for us in that position, you know what I mean? In terms of it's a step up from Gaz. I mean, Gaz has gone on to do good things at Bury, or hopefully he does. And in terms of his track record, he's played at Stockport, he's played at Salford City, absolutely. In the Conference North, Curzon, Chester, Boston. So he knows this league, and he knows how brutal it is, and I think that experience is going to be key for us next season. And he attacks with real vigour and almost violence. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's ruthless going down that wing, isn't he? I think that's just that Conference North experience. Yeah, I think probably that's what the balls he plays into the box are so smart and pithy. But then at the back, he gets back, and he's really, really a tough tackler. And I think he's going to be an excellent addition to this squad. The assist at Prestwich, for trial. Yeah. 40, I think it was. Yeah. Which was Mo. Unreal. Yeah, just sent the guy And I think you saw it again against 1874, and I'm going to be intrigued to see it again today at Trafford.
Yeah.
A lot of the plays work through him, and I think he's experienced, and I think just what we need. Knows Chaddy, and again, Josh loves this club already. Like, I was having a chat with him on Thursday, and he was speaking so highly about everybody down from Paul the chairman to the supporters and stuff like that, and 110% understands what it means to be playing for Atherton Coles at this level. Josh, it's almost like he's played it for years, and I'm not over exaggerating here, but you would not be, the way he speaks, he's played it for 4 or 5 years, and I think he is, we're looking who's going to be the next Coles legend. I think Josh is going to be up there, 100%.
I think he's going to be a fan's favourite, just because he's a great character, and
he'll buy you a pint, probably.
Jigsaw Josh, cheers Josh.
Yeah.
Right then. A player that came out of the blue a little bit, hadn't been mentioned, Jordan Fagbrower.
Yeah.
Mr. Fagbrower, I'm going to call him.
I love that name.
Because he is an absolute unit.
He is.
At the back.
And he, it was only against, I think when I watched them training, because I knew he played for Hyde, but I watched them at training on Thursday, and I thought, yes, I do remember him now. And he played at Hyde last season. And he was hard work, really hard work. And it was almost like the ball glued to him. And he just launched it out of the box, which is exactly the kind of defender we need.
His communication's really good as well.
And Hyde had a great season last season.
They did.
And he was instrumental to that. And I think he's going to really, again, enjoy playing here and embrace what it means to play for the Coles. Welcome Jordan. Another great sign as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, totally. Harvey Gregson.
Yes.
In the kind of Nathan Kane, but not on the left.
In the middle of the park.
Yeah, skillful, attacking, young lad as well.
I think he played against Prestwich, and he was down as trialist when he played against Prestwich. Yeah. And I remember watching him going, wow, a really creative.
He's come from Fylde.
Yes,
and technically just really, really good.
Yeah.
I think that, like Chaddy said, 1874, he needs to protect him because it was being a bit too physical, maybe, because they couldn't get to grips with him.
Yeah, and I think Chaddy himself has admitted, he said in the interview, he is looking to bring in just a tiny bit more experience, I think, to help those younger lads in the middle of the park. And I think someone like Harvey would really, really benefit from that. But again, a really smart, technically clever player.
Exciting.
That is exciting. I mean, look, we've only seen him in a pre-season context, so who knows? But I can't wait for that Whitby game just to see how this sets up in that competitive.
Because we're an unknown quantity.
We are completely unknown for ourselves. We haven't got a clue.
But also for those.
Yeah, big time.
And they make me think, it's 3 easy points to start the season off. And then you end up with some of these guys running at them.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, they can't continue.
And the big thing is, for me, I mean, we'll come on to this kind of crossing thing is, but Chaddy's not going to want to roll over and have his belly tickled at all. He's going to be telling them to get in there and get amongst it, which is exciting.
Trialist, I forget his number, Jordan Scanlon. Scored against
He's a young lad, isn't he?
Yeah. He, I am familiar with, he went to Ramsbottom with Chaddy last season, did well.
Yeah.
He was at Rochdale. So we picked him
Is he the forward?
Yeah.
Again, lad.
He's a young lad, but he's good.
Yeah. Again, really technically able.
Yeah.
It's, and he's really technically able, and I think when we talk about maybe Lewis holding it up and then somebody playing off him, that's the kind of relationship you picture seeing there. Yeah. And you know what, again, for me, at this stage of pre-season, it's not about how good they are, but it's about the character of them.
Yeah.
And again, Jordan was, as sound, in the words of John Madden, as sound as a pound when I met him on Thursday.
Okay.
So nice, so grateful of the opportunity. And I think as supporters here, and I am speaking as a supporter here, not as somebody who volunteers on the committee and stuff, but that's all you can ask for. He's not bothered about the fact to play for Rochester. He wants to play for the black and white stripes, which I think is really key. And credit to again Chaddy for getting that ethos of player, because he could have run into any kind of random people, but you can tell he sat down and he's thought about who's going to be good for Coles.
So I'll discuss that at the end of this.
Yes.
I've got some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
But at the press Padium game, listening to the centre backs there, there's Mark Ayres who played for us, and I think he played at FC United with Chad, good mates. Yeah. He just said our 2 forwards, but good. Yeah. And he knows.
Yeah, he does know. He knows his level.
Singing both of the praises, and we're really lucky to have
definitely
got those.
Definitely, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ben coming in at midfield too.
Yeah.
Which I think he's quite small as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put names to faces.
Not the smallest.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the right guy.
6'3". He's a wide right.
Yeah.
Played at Radcliffe last season and the season before, and Rob said he also played some games at Bootle. So
good pedigree.
Well, toughen him up.
Good Northern Premier League pedigree.
And I think he assisted one of the goals against Padium, and it was just outside of the boot, curling, incisive ball into Jesse, I think it was. Yeah. It was just outrageously good. Yeah. I think very, very promising. Knows this league inside out. Still a young lad. Yeah. Plenty more for to see from Ben Ragall.
Definitely. And then Jack coming in as a goalkeeper, Jack Buckley, who's I've, to be honest, seen very little of. Do you know what I mean? I saw him at the 1874 game. He didn't really have a lot to do.
He came on against Bolton, didn't he? He played the last 20 minutes. I didn't know who he was. I was really impressed.
Yeah, good.
Kicking distribution, commanded his area, and actual saves. You can tell he's from, he's been coached.
Yeah,
well,
and he's still a young lad, isn't he? And that's the thing, he's learning, which is great. Do you know what I mean? And he will learn with every game because Luke said this himself, Luke Hutchinson, when we got him on loan. He said it's all well and good playing academy football, but football at this level is different because I remember him saying specifically the crosses were ruthless. There were these big, direct, heavy balls, and then you've got this big striker coming in with his shoulders and his elbows. And he said, and that's always the big thing for me. And I'm going to watch today, see how he deals with those crosses.
Did you see Mackenzie Chapman?
Yes.
Has been signed by Blackpool.
Oh, is he? Oh, great.
Yeah. So you come to Atherton Collieries and it's a roots back in.
Yeah, and it is, and anyone who knows Mackenzie Chapman, what a great lad. What a great lad.
Yeah.
Loved the club, and he hated losing. He pulled the biggest strops when we left. You should have seen him at full time, but yeah.
Fantastic. Rio.
Yes, his name is Rio.
Yeah.
Winger, isn't he?
Yes. Wide right again.
Really smart.
Electric.
Really, really smart. Really creative. And I don't know where Charlie's got these from, truthfully. I really do.
Well, I do.
Oh, right.
So we'll cover that.
Fine.
He's from Preston.
Yeah.
I saw that John Welsh.
Yeah.
Possibly the finest player ever to play for Atherton Collieries. Works at Preston, doesn't he, as a coach? He said it's a great signing.
Great.
So excited, so young, electric. Maybe he's initially an impact. So if you needed a goal, or you needed to peg someone back, put him on. Yeah. He could cause their.
And that's what you need sometimes. Sometimes at that 60 minutes, you just need to gear up, don't you?
Yeah.
And players can do that. And
the kind of player that you remember about Ben Hardcastle when 10 years ago when he was a young lad. And the moment he got the ball, the whole stadium, go on, Ben. It could be
exactly. Watch him drive forward.
Yeah, it could be go on, Rio.
Yeah.
So and then we've got finally. I had to pencil this out as we announced this last night. It was Trialist.
Yeah.
Trialist 14. He scored 3 against Padium.
Is he small? This is horrific. Honestly, we need to get to know the names. I'm just like this is
average size.
I'm just going. Is this the big one or the small one? And trust me, when the team sheets come, we will know these players inside out. But I hope you appreciate the fact that we're still getting to know them. They're still getting to know us.
Bo's average size.
Right, fine. He's not the player I'm thinking of.
No.
You're gonna have to speak about him then.
Yeah. Speaking to us, he played. I think he was the number 10. He played up with John Scanlon, and he ran them ragged.
Yeah.
He scored 3. He took his chances. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And he just went. He's good.
Yeah.
I know he was speaking to Chaddy at the bar, going, "Who's that?" And he was at Wigan, as a kid, but he's been around these leagues as well. He was. I don't know how he ended up at Ashton Town a couple of years ago.
Right. Okay.
But then he's ended up last season at Farsley Celtic in the Conference North.
Right. Okay.
So
It's an interesting journey.
Yeah.
Interesting journey.
Yeah.
So great, welcome.
Really excited. Oh, he was at Nantwich as well. So
fine.
So Charlie was saying with Rio, he said it in the thing we released, he saw him in an exit trial, which are things that are put on. They could be put on by agents, or they could be put on by the Football League, or players who are young kids who are being released, and they will bring down as many, other clubs from across the board.
Okay.
And Charlie was at that, and I'm intrigued to know, other managers in this league wouldn't have been there because they're totally engrossed in their own club, and it feels like almost he was doing that without knowing he got a job, but with a view to it.
Well, I think so, and I think it's the reality of our situation, really. Like, I think that, there are teams in this league with money.
Yeah.
And they're poaching players from other teams, whereas we don't have a great deal of
poaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, because if they're not on the contract.
Well, exactly. Do you know what I mean? But they're cherry picking the best of the best, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas we don't have, and it's again, we talk about this every time, the biggest budget in the league. We've got one of the smallest budgets in the league. We don't hide away from that fact. We're proud of it, if anything.
Oh, certainly.
And as a result, we've got to be more, or our management team have got to be more creative in the players that they go for.
Yes.
And and that's why we often get a mixture of young and old, almost. We rarely have those players in the middle ground. Your 26 to your 30-year-old.
But Josh Askew's 25.
Yeah. So Josh Askew is probably a prime example there, and I think that is good because you get these starlets like Rio Pemberton, your Harvey Gregsons, your Jordan Scanlons and stuff like that, and I think it's something this club has always been very, very good at, and credit to Paul Gregg and the committee for building that ethos and hiring those managers that always look for development and never look to stand still, because we wouldn't have had in the past your Ben Hardcastles, your Jake Kennys, your Jay Fitzmartins and stuff like that. Those young lads who just need that arm around the shoulder at the right time in their career to sort of go, come with us, help us, and then we'll help you out, because this time next season you could be playing X, Y and Z. And I think Chaddy's done a brilliant job there to bring in such a wide variety of creative, exciting, positive players.
Because we sat here going, oh yes, we will have a team.
But we didn't have a clue, to be honest.
Well, we knew some of them.
Yeah, we knew he was busy.
But I didn't know all these.
No.
And I didn't know it would be quite as good.
Yeah.
And there was a danger that we send in a little bit happy copy.
Yes.
But the proof of the pudding.
The proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It's going to take them time to gel.
Yeah.
We've not got a clue what to expect in those first 3 games against Whitby, Bradford Park Avenue and Rylands. We haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
But all we do know is Chaddy and his team, Jimmy, Wazza, etc., are working really, really hard to get the best out of these lads. And for me, in terms of his main task when he came into it, he's done it.
Yeah, he's delivered.
He's passed that first
test. I think we're in a really good position.
I do too. Really do. And who knows what's going to come of this season? Who knows?
It's going to be good.
But it's going to be good. And I said, last season we had a lot of 0-0s. I don't think we're going to have 0-0s this season.
Well,
I really don't.
I think that Chaddy will focus on the defending side because he's a very, very experienced defender.
Yes.
And that's what I expect. I know he talked about defending from the front.
Yes.
I expect that we're going to be really, really solid.
Yes.
And maybe with players like Rio, we're capable of nicking a goal.
Definitely.
Because we've got to be realistic. We can't go and play. We can't go and play someone off the park.
No
so
way.
We've got, like you say, we've got to be creative in the way. Sit back, frustrate people, see these sat there breaking up play.
I think that's the word we've got to use. We've got to frustrate them, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
Yeah. Because possibly the most frustrating thing in football must be coming here with a budget 3 times the size of ours, with a proper stadium, and you get rolled over.
Yeah. And everyone at Coles is so proud of what Coles is. We've always said this time and time again, we don't pretend we're something we're not. Yeah. We're a team in the Northern Premier League at the heart of Atherton, and we're proud of it. We don't have the best pitch in the league, we don't have the best facilities in the league, but so what? Yeah. You're going to come here and you're going to give us a game whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because we're in the league on merit.
That's it, and I think it's It's going to be a really interesting season. That's going to be core of the values. What's going to happen? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. So before it all kicks off, then we're going to go set off to Shawview Trafford soon after this, and then we've got a new game fitted in on
next Tuesday.
The first Tuesday, the 1st of August. Against Widnes. Yeah. Here at the Schooner. Yeah. And did you notice that there will be a returning Coles legend in the form of Chrissy Hunt?
Oh no, I didn't. No.
Chrissy Hunt signed for
Widnes.
For Widnes.
He loves black and white. He loves black and white. Brilliant.
We mentioned Jake Kelly before also. He's signed for Stalybridge.
Oh, brilliant, really? Yeah, wow, they're building some side in that league, aren't they? League blowers now.
And then finally, the final warm-up game is Whitton, is it the 5th?
Whitton,
Whitton Albion.
Saturday.
Whitton had a really good season last year. Yeah. They've got John Macken as the manager, who was the manager of Radcliffe when they pushed us in that league all the way. Yeah. There's a few former Coles players. Elliot Rocker's playing there. Ollie Roberts.
Yeah, is he playing there now?
And Connor Hughes, I think, is injured.
Right, okay.
But Connor Hughes is still there.
We played them last pre-season. They gave us a good test. I think we won 1-0 just, and it was a good test. Yeah. That was at their place. So they're a good team. We know what to expect.
I think they might have finished like 6th last season in Division 1.
And they had a decent cup run, I think.
Right, so down the football pyramid, it's at 104th places. So it's literally as close to a Northern Premier.
Well, close to us the South Shields said, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, in terms of last season's ladder. Yeah, definitely. So it's a really, really positive, and just come down, you know, see them in action. I think by Whitton we'll start to see what side.
I'm interested to know how, you know, he will sort of reduce down to what by that game what he thinks his starting 11 is going to be going forward. Yeah,
and you know, who knows? That's all you can say. Who knows? And it's going to be interesting. I think about Chaddy's is honest too, which is great.
Totally.
So he will be able to say at the end of the Whitton game whether he's happy or whether he's not. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
I think that by the very nature there will be players coming in.
Yeah.
Like he has mentioned, getting in some experience. Yeah. So it's watch this space.
Yeah. That's it.
But the bulk of it is done. That is the way they use it is a nucleus, and there absolutely is a nucleus.
That's it. There's a nucleus there. There's going to be some sort of on the fringes departing, some arriving. Who knows? But again,
there's an opportunity there. Everyone has been given a fair chance to take their starting shirt.
Definitely.
You know, by hard work and dedication and showing what you can do.
And this is a good talk about the nucleus. This is a good Coles side. Yes. This is a Coles side that, first of all, understand the values of this football club, are proud to play for this football club, want to play for Chaddy, and offer, on paper anyway, real creative, exciting flair. Yeah. Arguably, on paper and from the pre-season games, this is probably one of the most creative Coles sides I've ever seen. You know, so let's just see what comes of it.
So you mentioned the first games of the season. We're gonna, I think, do a pre-season preview.
Round up.
But Whitby away is it's a good place to start.
It's an interesting place to start. We normally play them in the depths of winter.
Yeah, and that road is no fun.
It's hard work.
So get there early, have some fish and chips, have a look round, make a day of it.
100%.
Hopefully get some points.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, Whitby are a bit of an unknown entity. They always keep themselves up there. And then Bradford Park Avenue at home.
What I'm looking forward to, because they're a proper name. They've come down from the Conference North. They're a proper non-league name.
And they're, again, I don't really know much about them. I don't know what to expect. They've dropped down for a reason.
Yes, they'll be looking to get back to them.
Absolutely
be looking to get back.
And they won't. I don't think they'll be particularly familiar with the Schooner.
No, not at all. No.
So you know, that's a really interesting one. Tuesday night under the lights. So get down.
There's nothing quite like a night match here, is there?
Absolutely.
If we can get a few people in and get a buzz.
100%.
Yeah. And then Rylands. Do we know anyone from Rylands?
Warrington Ryland. They are this season's Ashton United. You know, home of Clegg and Co. You know, Bernard Castle, Clive Smith. Can't think of anybody else. But you know, they're back. So that games against Cleggy, whether we like it or not, always have that extra spark, don't they? So please do, I encourage you. Bradford Park,
come down and give Michael some
Warrington Rylands at home. Get down.
That's what we're saying.
Cheer on. the black and white stripes, because they're going to be 2 good games.
Yeah, be interested to see what Ryland's aspirations are for the season, because it's so difficult with the likes of Bradford Park Avenue and Macclesfield
and Radcliffe.
Yeah, Radcliffe spending money.
I think Radcliffe going to be up there big time.
It's like John Lee Hume, haven't they?
You don't get Bernard and John Wynne as your manager.
This is to tread water.
This is not disrespect. It's the opposite. It's respect.
Yes.
You do not get Bernard and John as your managers and not have aspirations to get out of this division.
Yeah.
Those two are driven.
You saw it last season. The work that's gone on in the ground is to make it ready for the Conference North. Yeah. That the away end, you have to have an away end.
Yeah,
in the Conference North, and that works in place.
And full credit to Radcliffe. I mean, they're probably the closest thing we have to rivals in this league.
Yeah.
But you've got to. I say this all the time. You've got to step back and you've got to go fair play. Because I went watching Radcliffe in like 2011 when they had 100 on.
You know. I went there. So I moved to my house 8 years ago. So I went there when I lived at this house. So it's within the last 8 years. And Rocker was playing for them.
Yeah.
And Jamie Forbes was playing for them.
Yeah.
And I think there were 80 on.
Yeah, and it's full credit to them, the way they have the backer, you know, they've got that model where they've got a backer and that financial pool from the top of the club filtering down, that we don't, and they've been able to grow that way. We've grown as well, just in a different way.
It's incredible.
Just in a different way,
yeah.
and it's, you know, all the best to them. All the best to them. Feels weird. Feels like a Radcliffe loving now, which feels odd. And I'm sure if there are any Radcliffe fans,
certainly we're softening them up.
That's it. If there are any Radcliffe fans that have got this far, I would be A, very surprised, but B, I'm sure they'll feel just as weird hearing this positivity. But yeah,
they'll be chucking drinks at you.
Yeah, which I was hand sanitizer that threw me last time. First a Coke can, second hand sanitizer, but. We will see. I mean, look, Bernard and John aren't known for their calm tranquility, are they? So I'm sure.
I actually did some work for Bernard and John.
Oh, did you?
About 3 years ago at Atherton Vale.
Yeah.
Where they were running some sort of coaching.
Good lads.
Yeah, yeah.
Former Coles lads.
Yeah.
Coles lads.
I see them down here quite a lot.
Yeah, they're great, and you know we really do wish them all the best. And look, you can't take it. And this is for all of them really. Your Macclesfields, your Bradfords, your Warrington Rylands, your Ashton Uniteds. Those teams that have obviously spent a bit of money. If you got it, you're going to use it, aren't you? If you got it, you're going to use it. So good luck to them.
There's a pressure.
There is a pressure. The pressure's on them.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I will stress it. We've got no pressure this season.
No.
We've got no pressure. Nobody knows anything about us because we know so little about ourselves really this season.
So yeah, journey of discovery.
All we know is we've got a great manager who's established a good creative squad, and there's one word he keeps using: competitive. We are going to compete. What does that look like? Don't know, but good grief, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. I feel this season. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs.
I think there could be some explosions with players like Rio.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some real jaws open shock. I think there's going to be real shock.
Yeah. People always underestimate this. We've said before, places like Gainsborough, they underestimated us at the time.
They do, and I think that was an issue last season where when Brad came in. They underestimated, continued to underestimate, we shocked them. But I feel definitely towards the end of sort of January onwards, I was like, teams have learned to play against us now.
Yeah.
I think we were found out, and I think it's back to square one this season because we, they don't know anything about us. Anything about us. We are just a list of names on a team sheet at this.
And we could go either way.
We could go either way.
You could have Lewis at the front, holding the ball up, or you could just put two fast ones.
Definitely.
Because Mo's quick.
There's versatility. Yeah. And who knows what it's going to look like? Good grief. Chaddy's not saying we're going to drive up the league. He's saying, look, it's going to be tough, and it is going to be tough. Every season is tough, but it's not going to be tough just for us. It's going to be tough for Macclesfield. It's going to be tough for Rylands. And we've got to embrace that. We're not going to win every week. We're not going to win every week, but neither are they. So let's just make sure we put ourselves in the best possible position. The drum's going to be there, not at Whitby, granted.
I'll be far away from that as possible.
The drum will be there. Danny and I were sort of coming up with new songs at 1874. So get behind the drum, cheer on the lads. It's going to be a good season, I'm sure.
We're going to head off now to Trafford.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back, I think, and do a pre-season preview.
Definitely.
And cover those final pre-season games as well.
Yeah.
And then we'll be in the full form.
Yeah. So see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.